A poem for your heart. I love you so dearly, so warming and bright. You give such joy that lasts me through the night. Your smiling face, always so true. Don't you see, I love you. Of all the girls I've come to love, you beyond them soar infinitely above. Your eyes do so shimmer to lighten up my life. I'll love you so dearly throughout any strife. Although you no longer see me, I'm sure you feel me around, even though for a while I've been deep underground. That one bad night when we were cold and lost, I held you so tightly to ward off the frost. I can't believe you did this, not in my wildest nightmare, never, because you said you'd love me forever. You lied to me, my dear, and that is a true pain. Now pay attention to that sound of the rain, but don't let it get to you. Just rest now, fall asleep, for the morning your lover shall weep. I'd say I love you, but with your blood there will be art. Time to be afraid, I'm coming for your heart. Her name was Rose. I love any kind of flower. I enjoy caring for the dainty little things. So when I met Rose, my heart fluttered within my chest and butterflies tickled my insides. Naturally, I charmed her into giving me her phone number. On our first date, I showed up with a single red rose, which made her giggle lightly as she plucked it from my fingers. Her cheeks were red from the cold air that whipped around us, and her chocolate-colored curls swayed slightly in the wind. She yelped slightly though. The rose still had its thorns, and one had pricked her thumb. A thin line of blood trickled down her palm as she spun it between her fingers, while peering up at me with innocent blue eyes. It was in that moment that I knew she had to be mine. I could add her to my collection of favorite flowers. On the second date, I again showed up with a single red rose. This time I had dethorned it for her, and she looked up at me with wide eyes as I spoke gently. I wouldn't want a flower as beautiful as you to get hurt. On the third date, I again showed up with a single red rose to our dinner for two. She wore a red dress that fit her petite body nicely. I squirmed slightly, feeling overwhelmed at her absolute beauty as she spoke to me about her love for dogs. On the fourth date, I showed up with a single red rose. She openly wondered why I did such a thing as we walked towards my car, hand in hand. She held the rose close to her as she spoke. Tiny snowflakes fluttered down from the sky as she smiled softly. I took her chin between my fingers and leaned down, kissing her gently before murmuring against her lips, "Because you're my rose." It was then that I helped her into my car. I drove her to my house where I had promised warmth and kind love. When we arrived, she took off her coat and I invited her to see the basement. Her eyebrows rose as I unlocked 5 locks on the door while muttering, "I have some things down here that are very precious to me." I let her walk down the steps in the dark before shutting the door behind me. Once we made it to the end of the steps, she asked, with a voice laced with fear, "Are you going to turn on the lights?" I grinned and flipped the switch as I spoke. "Of course, Rose." When the lights flickered on, a look of horror spread across her face as she peered at the 3 other flowers I had chained up in the basement. She tried to run, but I grabbed her arms, preventing her from escaping as I whispered in her ear, "Rose, meet my 3 other precious flowers, Daisy, Jasmine, and Lily." My favorite date. "I'll see you later at 8, smiley face." I sent my letter to James just as I finished my lunch for today. "I'll shop this afternoon. James is taking me to some fancy restaurant and I want to look good." I bought a classy red dress and black heels. I hope he likes it. Oh, I'm so excited. It was 7:50 when I arrived at the restaurant, very eager. I was surprised to see him already at our table, as eager as me. He stood up and helped me take my seat, kissing my knuckles after doing so. Such a gentleman. He looked so handsome and hot. I licked my lips thinking about Jeremy, my lunch date earlier. I bet James is tastier. I can't wait to get him home. "You look so ravishing in that red dress, Anne," he says, licking his lips conspicuously and looking at me like I'm a mouth-watering meal. "Oh, baby, if you only knew." "So do you, James," I replied with my most seductive tone. He seems amused with my reply, making me grin. We ordered and started talking. I was surprised that we had a lot in common. I enjoyed our conversation, unlike my previous dates who were boring. I caught him a bunch of times looking at me when I was eating, and I'd always give him back a flirtatious look. I can't wait anymore. "We should go to my place after this," he said before I could say it. "Oh, James, I'd love to, but I would prefer to go to my place if you wouldn't mind." "Okay, baby, if you insist, then we must go." We arrived at my place moments later. As much as I wanted him then and there, I wanted to tell him my intentions because he's the first of many who I enjoyed having dinner with. "I want to tell you something." "Go on." "I brought you here to kill and eat you," I said, cutting to the chase. He gave me a big smile, his eyes so bright. I was disarmed. This was not the reaction I expected. "Oh, baby, I know. That's why I asked you on a date. I've always wanted to eat you from the day I saw you with Jeremy. He was my employee, and when he went missing after your date, I knew you were like me." Wow, I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. "But I think I've fallen for you. I could never eat someone I'm in love with. Give this a try?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I kissed him before he could say more. I pushed him to my bed and started undressing him. "I never thought you'd agreed. Oh, I love you so much," he said as he unzipped my dress. But I stabbed him in his throat. I watched as the blood oozed out. "Oh, James, how can you be such a fool? I don't do love, baby." I hope he tastes as amazing as I thought he would.